Welcome to a very unique guide to Stardew Valley. If you search for guides or tutorials on Stardew, you'll often be met with a ton of very helpful yet extremely stressful guides telling you not to waste a second of every day, not to sell certain items, ensuring you plant crops with maximum efficiency, and to restart a day if you make a mistake. You've stumbled upon the complete opposite. This series is designed to encourage you to take it easy, stop and smell the blue jazz flowers, and teach you that if you don't do something in a certain amount of time, it doesn't matter. If you've not seen the first episode of this series where I cover spring, I suggest you go back and watch that first, as I cover a lot of the game basics in that video. The link will be up here and in the description below. Now it's time to put on your overalls, chew on some straw and get out your watering can as we head into summer on our farm. I'm That British Mo, and you're watching the most relaxed guide to Stardew Valley. Before we start, I must make an apology and retract a previous statement I made in my spring video. A huge thanks to viewer Bruno, who pointed out that I said luck affects the number of monsters spawned in the mines. I was wrong about this. I checked the wiki and a video from a Stardew content creator, Blade, both of which confirm that luck has no effect on the number of monsters spawned in the mines. I'm very sorry for not checking that information beforehand. With that out of the way, let's get farming. At the start of each season, you'll notice that your previously pristine farm has fallen victim to a barrage of overnight littering perpetrated by none other than Mother Nature herself. Freshly placed logs, rocks, fibre and grass now occupy some of your farm. You'll probably want to deal with that at some point. The other thing you'll notice is that many crops you had from the last season are now dead. These will need to be cleared away before you can plant anything in their place. As it's a new season, you can start fresh with planting crops. In spring, you probably haphazardly dug the ground and threw in whatever you had. Now you're more experienced, and you can plan your layout a little better and prepare the farm for the seeds you'll soon buy. Or you could just leave it in a mess. It's completely up to you. This is not essential, as there's really no rush, but if you can, try to get to Pierre's shop before it closes at 5 PM, so that you can buy and plant your new seeds for the season. Summer has an exciting range of new crops for you to grow, including the very profitable melons. It's worth noting here that the other crops of summer, such as tomatoes, blueberries, peppers, hops and corn, all continue to provide you with produce after the harvest. This means you don't need to replant them to grow more. This can be very handy if you find yourself short of cash every few days. Blueberries and hops are particularly good for this. Corn and sunflower will grow in both summer and fall, so at the end of summer these plants will not wither and die. Lastly, every time you pick a sunflower up, it will drop more seeds for you to plant more sunflowers. It practically pays for itself. There's a lot more I could say about all the different seeds for summer, but I recommend you take your time to look through and check the wiki for more information. You've probably noticed this by now, but when you're in any menu screen, the time in the game pauses, so you don't need to rush buying your seeds. I head back to the farm with most of my money spent and prepare the ground for my crops. I decided to keep using the area directly outside of my farm as it would be easier for me to get to and I wouldn't forget to water them. By the time I've hoed and watered the ground and planted the seeds, I'm getting tired and it's nearly dark outside. I take a quick trip to the community centre before bed and check on what potential bundles I could complete this season, but I don't stress over it. If I grow the necessary crops, then great. If I don't, it can wait until later. After that, it's bedtime. Good night. At the end of day 2, you'll hear a noise and be informed that there was an earthquake. Remember that as we go into day 3 of summer. There's a message from the mayor. He's misplaced his lucky purple shorts and wants you to retrieve them. Discreetly. I'm not going to say anything more about this quest, except that it has no time limit and it reveals some interesting NPC storylines. If you feel up to it, try to find them. It's worth it. After the usual crop watering and admin tasks, I go off to discover what this earthquake was all about. At the very north of the map, a path that was previously closed has suddenly been opened up to you. This new area of the game houses some very useful features. Firstly, there's a train station. Now and again a train will pass through Stardew Valley, and if you get to the train station in time you'll find some goodies fall off the train for you to collect. The second is the spa. Now, Don't ask me who's been maintaining this spa for all the time that it's been accessible, but when you enter it, everything seems to be working fine. Remember when I said back in my spring video that eating food was the most common way to regain energy? Well, there is another. Spend a minute or so in the spa and your health and energy will be refilled. In the early game days when you spend most of your morning watering crops, digging and clearing, you'll find that by around 10 AM you've run out of energy. You would need to eat your precious food supplies if you want to go mining for the rest of the day. Well, now you can take a trip to the spa first, refuel your energy and then head to the mines. It doesn't take very long and you'll still have plenty of time for breaking rocks. The next few days are not very interesting as I spent most of it fishing to make some money and start completing some of the community centre fishing bundles. On day 7 however, I decided to spend a bit of time in the mines, and it's given me the perfect opportunity to talk a bit more about mining now that you've probably had a little time to explore the mines yourselves. Mining can seem pretty daunting at first. The enemies can be overwhelming and keeping an eye on your energy and health bars can be stressful. When you first start going down in the mines, I wouldn't worry too much about trying to go as far as possible. Set a target of 5 floors as that's where the elevators will become activated. The next time you can just fast travel to a floor and focus on the next 5 floors. If you feel you want to do more, then go for it. As well as getting down 5 floors, I also like to try and get as much copper as I can in the early levels. You need copper to upgrade your tools, but also to make items like the furnace. It's a very useful material and you can never have too much of it. If you're looking to advance down the mines, I suggest going on a good luck day, as this will make it much easier to find ladders to take you to the next level. There is an item we received from the mines that you haven't come across yet. The Omni Geode. Omni Geodes can contain the various items that the normal geodes have, but additionally can contain more valuable minerals and gems, such as the coveted prismatic shard. Keep hold of your Omni Geodes and get them broken by Clint. The cost to break an Omni Geode is the same as a normal geode, 25 gold. Another useful item you'll get from killing flies and bugs is bug meat. You can use bug meat to make fishing bait, but also bug steak, which is very handy when you're running low on health and you have no food left. You may have noticed that with your sword, not only can you attack, but you also have a block action. Don't underestimate the power of this block, especially when fighting slimes. If they come at you, block and it will actually do damage as well as protect you. Finally, remember to leave the mines in time for you to get home before 2 AM. You don't really want to be leaving later than 12:30, although I have cut it close a few times at 1 AM. Give yourself enough time to get into bed safely. You might just be one level away from unlocking an elevator and you want to keep pushing your luck, but don't worry, you can try another time. There's no rush to get to the bottom of the mines. It's not a race, just take it easy. It's better to miss an elevator and to get to bed safe than to give Harvey, the greedy doctor, your hard-earned money. On day 8, as I was mining, one of the monsters dropped a book. In the 1.6 update to the game, Concerned Ape added a new consumable item. Books. These are not like the lost books you find that go to the museum, however. These are books you can read, and by doing so it increases your powers or skills. The effects are permanent. You can even buy and trade books at the bookseller, but we'll cover that in a bit. You can check the Stardew Wiki for details on all the different books available. The one this monster dropped was the Monster Compendium. Reading it will increase the chance of a monster dropping double loot by 3%. What's more, you can stack that effect with other in-game items, such as the Burglar's Ring. It was a lucky day for me as a slime also dropped a pair of sneakers that look a lot like Sonic's sneakers. Putting them on gave me a +1 to defense and also made me look cool. I think I'll wear them to bed. Good night. Today I want to talk to you about the artifact spots. You've probably come across these little wriggly worms around the map. They're described as 3 little stems in the game, and if you dig them with a hoe, they will give you something useful. This can be a lost book for the museum, mixed seeds, clay, various minerals, and so on. Keep an eye out for them and dig them if you can be bothered. You might confuse artifact spots with seed spots, something recently added to the game. Seed spots will look slightly different and will give you a special crop for the season. In summer, that's summer squash, which is a continually producing crop. Earlier I mentioned the bookseller. I don't want to overwhelm you with even more things that you can do, but I will briefly mention this guy, as it's quite a cool 1.6 addition to the game. You can find the bookseller north of Jojamart. He comes to town for a couple of days every season. The days he'll be in town are marked on the calendar, and you'll also get a notification on the morning when he's around. I don't recommend visiting the bookseller this early on in the game. Although he sells very useful books, they are very expensive, and unless you've been setting up a little farming empire for yourself already, you probably won't be able to afford most of his stock. Eventually, however, when you find yourself drowning in gold and you want to buy something useful, get over here and get spending. As I mentioned previously, check the wiki for details on every book he sells and what they all do. Finally, don't forget that you can trade books with him as well for some useful items. If you've already read a book and you find another copy of it, you can always trade it here for some decent stuff. On day 10 of summer, you'll get a letter informing you about the Pelican Town Luau being held the next day. This is one of 2 special events in summer and will give you a chance to either be a town hero or a menace. Everyone is expected to add an item of food to the hot pot. The hot pot is then tested and judged by the governor. If you put in a decent item, it can increase your friendship score with every villager. Put in the wrong item, however, and it will lose you friendship points. Depending on how much you care about your friendship score, it may be more enticing for you to cause some trouble here and put in items that would not be enjoyed. I won't give anything more away, but you can check the wiki if you're curious as to what's the best and worst items. There are also many videos out there revealing the more mayhem causing options, so check those out if you're intrigued. Or just wing it and see what happens. You might have noticed that my chicken coop was finished days ago, but I did get around to buying a chicken. Until today. I would have bought one a couple of days earlier, except that Marnie's ranch is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and otherwise closes at 4 PM every other day. Even after this long, I keep forgetting her opening hours. There are plenty of memes out there about how Marnie is never around when you need her. If you haven't discovered this yet, you soon will. Anyway, I purchased my first chicken and named her Michelle Aromi after our wonderful Tier 2 channel member. More about channel memberships and how you can join later on. After your chicken is sent to the coop, you'll be able to visit her and pet her. Much like with your cat or dog, petting each of your animals increases their friendship level with you. If you try to pet your animal after it goes to sleep, which is around 7 PM, you won't be able to, so try to get those head pats in early. Also ensure that you keep their hay filled. They will use this hay if there is no grass outside to eat or if it's raining. First ensure that you have hay in your silo, and then, when in the coop, simply right click on the hay dispenser, which is here, and then place the hay over here. Check back after rainy days to ensure there's always hay around. If the animal has no food to eat, when you go to pet them the following day they will be upset with you and you will lose friendship points with them. If a chicken is fed every day, it will mature after 3 days. Mature chickens, although not as cute as little chicks, will lay an egg for you every day if it's fed. More on eggs later. A final tip on the coop, you'll notice that there's a door on the outside. I suggest keeping this door open. It will allow the animal out and give them free rein to explore your farm. They will graze on any grass you have, so it's always worth keeping some grass about, and make their way back in the evenings. If you close the door, they won't be able to get out or get back in later on. Some people find it easier to build a fence around their animal houses and grow grass inside that area to keep their animals in one place, making it easier to pet them all. Maybe that's something we'll do in fall when we have a few more animals. Today I really wanted to catch a sturgeon. It's a relatively difficult fish to catch in the game, so before trying to get it I head over to Willie's fish shop to buy some trout soup. Trout soup will increase your fishing level by 1 temporarily. It's great if you're trying to catch a difficult fish. It's not just trout soup that gives you an ability buff. Many foods and drinks can give you an ability boost. Coffee will increase your speed, for example. It's important to note, however, that food buffs do not stack, and neither do drinks buffs. You can't eat a trout soup and a seafoam pudding and get the benefits from both at once. You can, however, stack food and drink buffs. For example, you could drink a coffee, which gives you 1 speed, and then eat crab cakes, which also gives you 1 speed. Then you'll have a +2 speed boost. Great for when you're rushing around the mines. After a short while fishing, I managed to hook the sturgeon and reel it in. I spent the rest of the day clearing a few trees on my farm before heading to bed completely exhausted at 8:30 PM. Day 11 is the day of the luau, and I really don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll skip through the cutscenes. Although you'll have time to water your crops at the end of the day, I would recommend petting your chickens now as they will be trying to sleep by the time you get home and you won't get a chance. As with the other town events, there's a shop here as well where you can buy some decorative items as well as a starfruit. Starfruits are pretty expensive to buy at this stage in the game, so I wouldn't spend your money on one right now. You'll have plenty of opportunities as you progress through the game to purchase starfruit seeds, so don't worry too much. When the event ends, you'll be sent back to your farm at 10 PM, giving you enough time to manage your crops and inventory before heading to bed. On day 12, when checking the weather, I am informed that the following day there will be thunder and lightning. It will always storm on day 13 and day 26 of summer every year. Storms in Stardew are cool, but they can also be annoying. Lightning strikes on your farm can hit random tiles, which includes places where you've placed flooring, crops and trees. Chests, however, will not be targeted by lightning. There is a way to intercept lightning, however, and that's with a lightning rod. If a lightning rod is hit by lightning, it will begin to produce a battery pack. The more lightning rods you have on your farm, the better protected your farm will be against strikes. For now, I'm just going to focus on making one. My crafting menu says I need 1 iron bar, 1 refined quartz and 5 bat wings to make a lightning rod. So my personal goal for today is to hit the mines and get what I need to make one. As you get further down into the mines, you will reach the ice levels. Where the earlier levels gave you mostly copper, once you reach level 40, the ground changes and so do the enemies and gems. You'll now be finding more iron ore, frozen geodes, frozen tears and even diamonds. With the elevator, you'll be able to fast travel to the levels you're interested in, as you'll soon discover certain enemies or gems spawn more frequently on certain levels. I didn't manage to get all the materials I needed to build the lightning rod before I ran out of time, but that was okay. I could still make it the next day. I wasn't too bothered about lightning striking my farm at this stage as I don't really have much on the farm to be destroyed. It could wait a little longer. As I didn't need to water my crops, I headed straight for the mines and collected the last few things I needed to build my lightning rod. I finally gathered enough materials and crafted the rod. Once that was done, I was ready to craft another useful item in the game. Tappers. Tappers can be attached to trees that grow around the farm to give you useful crafting materials. Placing a tapper on a maple, oak or pine tree will produce maple syrup, oak resin and pine tar respectively. You can experiment with what you can get from other trees. Some of them will surprise you. Although I'm giving a lot of tips and information in these videos, I'm also being careful not to overwhelm you or spoil everything the game has to offer. I do still want to encourage and inspire your sense of adventure and exploration as well, so please don't feel that these guides are the be-all and end-all of Stardew Valley. This game has so much to offer, but there's no rush to see it all in one go. Besides, it's a wonderful feeling to come across something new in year 4 of playing the game when you think you've seen everything already. I want to use the tapper to get some of the crafting materials I'll need to build a keg. More on that later. The final item I'm going to craft today is a real game changer, the mayonnaise machine. Up until this point I've been collecting eggs from my little chicken and selling them. But they could be worth so much more if I turn them into mayonnaise. If you've been mining a fair bit to this point, you should be able to make a mayonnaise machine pretty easily. You'll need some wood, stone, an earth crystal and a copper bar. Once I craft mine, I place it beside my coop so it's easy for me to pick up an egg and drop it in there. It doesn't take too long to turn into mayonnaise. Some people even place their mayonnaise machines inside their coop, which is a genius idea. The only reason I don't do that is I keep forgetting to check when it's done, so when it's outside I can see exactly when it's ready. Yes, that was an egg pun. And no, I'm not sorry. Having done a bit of mining over the last 2 days, I caught the mining bug and decided to spend the next few days delving deeper into the mines and completing some more community centre bundles, if I came across the necessary items. By day 14 I'd saved up enough money to ask Robin to build me my next animal house. A barn. Barns are used to house cows initially, and cost 6,000 gold to build. I placed mine next to the chicken coop so that it was easy for me to get to all my animals in one go. It looks terrible right now, but later on in the year I'll work on rearranging things on my farm. Now, as you know, I don't like revealing spoilers for anything in the game. However, I will give you a small hint to something. If you've never tried walking over here, try it. My barn was ready on day 17, and it also happened to be a day when Marnie was actually open. So I headed over to her and purchased a cow. Meet Min, named after one of my first channel members, Min's Meadow. Min is an amazing cozy content creator, and if you enjoy games like Stardew Valley, I strongly suggest you go over and check out her channel. When chickens mature, they lay eggs. When cows mature, they will produce milk. However, in order to get the milk from a cow, you will need a milk pail. It's not cheap, but it pays for itself in a short time. Go ahead and buy one from Marnie so you can milk your cow when it's old enough. After sending Min to her new home, I finished the day with some more mining before heading off to bed on dangerously low health. I'll need a good night's sleep to face the strange phenomenon that the next day will bring. Something new to the game that was only introduced in the 1.6 update. More on that after a quick word from our sponsors. Yes, it's time for another cheesy ad by me.
Oh, hi there. I'm That British Mo. You might remember me from such YouTube videos as How to Defeat Ketheric Thorm or Planting Trees in Your Stardew Greenhouse. Now I can count on one fingerless hand the number of times someone has come up to me and said,
Mo, your content is so original and groundbreakingly innovative. You're also so hilarious. Please tell me how I can support you further.
Well, thank you, random citizen. I'm so glad you noticed. Just by watching this video alone, you're supporting me. If you want to help me a little more, you can always hit like and subscribe to the channel. Go back and watch all my other videos and write hundreds of glowing reviews. There's also an easier way. For as little as 99 English pence a month, you can become a channel member and support the channel by giving me money. You'll be amongst my personal heroes, such as Min's Meadow, Michelle Aromi, and Rix, who've all been long-time channel members. Click join below to see the various membership tiers and what they have to offer. With that, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
On day 18 I witnessed green rain. Green rain occurs randomly once each summer on one of 8 different days. The day before green rain you'll notice that the weather forecast doesn't know what's going on. On the day of the rain the television won't work at all. You'll know it's green rain because, well, everything is green all the time. Green rain still counts as a rainy day, so you won't need to water your crops. It does however have some other effects as well. On a green rain day, trees can suddenly grow to maturity or turn into green rain trees. You'll notice a lot of fibre around and a new resource item, moss. For now, I would say use this day to stockpile on your supply of fibre, which is very useful later on for making grass. And also keep hold of all the moss you collect. It will come in handy later on in the game, trust me. Another interesting thing about green rain days is that you can enter any NPC building or bedroom at any time of the day, regardless of your friendship level. So if there's a particular room you've been wanting to investigate, now's the perfect opportunity. Check the wiki for all the other things that you can do on a green rain day. A cow who is fed daily will mature after 5 days. On day 22 my cow is mature and ready to be milked. You will need to be holding the milk pail and click on your cow. Each cow will only produce 1 milk a day. Now, you can sell the milk as is, but as we learned from the mayonnaise machine, we can make milk more valuable by using it to create something else. This is where the cheese press comes in. To craft a cheese press, you'll need wood, stone, hardwood, and a copper bar. Again, you should have enough of these by now if you've been following along with this guide, so go ahead and make one. If you don't have enough of the materials, don't worry too much, you'll come across them soon enough. Or make it a little goal for yourself to get hold of them. Much like the mayonnaise machine, I place the cheese press outside the barn and click on it with milk in hand. It won't take long for the cheese to be produced. After taking care of my farming duties, I head over to the mines and manage to get through 14 levels, breaking through to the lava levels. Once you get to level 80 of the mines, the ground changes once more. And now you'll be able to find gold, magma geodes, emeralds, rubies, and fire quartz amongst other things. There'll also be harder enemies to fight, but better weapons to discover too. Remember that there's no need to rush the mines. If it gets too difficult or overwhelming, drop back to the lower levels and increase your fighting skills a bit before delving deeper. You've got this. At the end of day 22, there's a little cutscene of mystery boxes being dropped across Pelican Town. Mystery boxes are like geodes and can be opened by Clint for 25 gold. Look around for them. They can be found in a bunch of different ways that I'll let you explore for yourself. On day 23 I completed the Ocean Fishing Bundle, the reward for which was the Beach Warp Totem. Warp totems are really useful consumables in the game. Once you use them, they're destroyed, but it will teleport you to the location stated. In this case, from anywhere in the game I can instantly teleport to the beach. These are really helpful if you want to make the most of your day fishing by the ocean, but don't want to spend time walking there. Later on you'll learn how to craft various warp totems. There's even one that will take you back to your farm, which is very handy if you're out late in the mines and don't have enough time to get home. As I had been mining a lot this season, I gathered enough iron ore to upgrade my axe to a steel axe. It was ready on the 24th of summer and I took it out for a spin. The steel axe will let you destroy the large dead trees on your farm, but also one particular dead tree that's been blocking an important path for you. Over on the west of the map above the wizard's tower there's a dead tree that you can now break. Removing this tree gives you access to the secret woods. There's a lot of cool things about the secret woods, but for now I just want to tell you about one: the unlimited supply of hardwood available. Every day there are 5 stumps of hardwood that magically regenerate, allowing you to farm hardwood to your heart's content. There's a few slimes to contend with, and a little maze of overgrown foliage to navigate, but other than that it's simple enough. You don't have to come here every day, but if you're in need of hardwood it's well worth remembering this place. When you chop the stumps, there's also a chance a mahogany seed will drop. You can plant those seeds on your farm to grow your own hardwood trees. Before the day was up, I crafted a bee house. Bee houses are both cute and a good money maker. There are some players who just make money from an excessive number of bee houses. You'll need wood, coal, an iron bar and maple syrup to make one. This was the reason I made a tapper. If you tapped a maple tree earlier, then you should have the maple syrup by now. I won't go into all the details about bee houses, you can look that up in the wiki. But it's enough for now to know that they will produce honey every 4 days in every season except winter. If you plant a flower next to it, the honey will be more valuable. Sometimes you'll come across quests that reward you with prize tickets. This is another 1.6 update edition. Prize tickets can be exchanged for rewards in the mayor's house. For this particular quest I needed to give Robin 30 pieces of fresh stone, meaning I had to mine them and couldn't give her any of my stored stone. It's not a time-consuming task, so I went ahead and accepted the quest. After delivering the stone she gave me the prize ticket. At the mayor's house there's a machine in the top left corner. If you interact with it you can claim your reward. It will also show you what the next rewards are. Another thing I managed to achieve today was unlocking the boiler room in the community centre. The reward for doing this is opening the minecarts. The minecarts can be used at any time of day and make it much quicker to travel around town. You can get from the bus stop to the mines or to Clint's house instantly, which saves a lot of time. They will be ready on the following day. It's day 28 and the final day of summer already, and although I'm very excited about fall, there's still some magic of summer to behold, namely the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. This is arguably one of the most beautiful and heartwarming festivals in the game. You will need to get to the beach at around 10 PM to witness the event. All I'll say is, make sure you have the game music on and try not to miss this if possible. If you do miss it you'll always have next year, but it's definitely worth seeing at least once in your playthrough. There's still a day of farming to do before then, and a few more things I want to tell you about. We haven't really spent much time at the saloon yet. Remember from the first video I mentioned that you can buy food from the saloon? Well, now that you have a bit more money, it's worth spending a little bit on salad if you find that you're running out of energy in the mines often. Salad will give you 113 points of energy and 50 points of health and only costs 220 gold. Having a few of these in case of emergency is a worthwhile investment. The final item I've been wanting to craft all summer is the keg. I've been waiting on oak resin and now I finally have some after making a few more tappers. Kegs allow you to turn your hops into ale, fruit into wine, honey into mead, coffee beans into coffee, and more besides. Later on in the game, you'll probably find you're crafting a lot of kegs, but let's start with just one for now. With my keg quietly producing its first bottle of wine, I use my beach totem to head over to the beach and watch the Dance of the Moonlight jellies, saying goodbye to my first summer in Stardew Valley. Thank you so much for watching this second part of my relaxed Stardew guide. In my third and final video, I'll be covering both fall and winter, bringing an end to our first year in the valley. If there's anything you feel I've missed out on so far and should definitely mention in the next installment, please leave a comment below. Don't forget that you're more than welcome to join the Discord server if you'd like to chat more about Stardew or other games you're playing. I'll leave a link in the description. Take care and see you again next time.